Finally, the semester is over. It was a rough one, but we got through it. Time to travel. Where should we go to? I say we go on a road trip, something mountainy, historic. Ooh, wait, I have an idea. Let's go to the Biltmore estate in Asheville, North Carolina. It's a 5-hour car ride, so we can play some good music, look at the colorful fall trees and mountain views. It's perfect. Road trip. I found a video talking about the estate. Let's watch it. We only have an hour left until we get there. Welcome to a journey through time and architecture, where we explore the design of the significance of the Biltmore estate, a magnificent estate nestled in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. In this video, we will unravel the story of how Richard Morris Hunt, the renowned American architect, designed the Biltmore estate in the French Renaissance Revival style, categorized by hierarchy, asymmetrical design, and landscape elements, to represent the power and class of its owner, George Vanderbilt. The estate was constructed between 1889 to 1895 for George Washington Vanderbilt and his family. To understand the Biltmore House and its significance, we must first place it in its historical context. The house was conceived during the American Gilded Age, a period of immense wealth and opulence in the late 19th century. The Vanderbilts, a prominent and wealthy family, were among the elite of an era. George Vanderbilt was born into a family of wealth, with his father, William Vanderbilt, aka the Commodore, paving the way for the shipping industry. While he could have carried over his father's legacy, he decided to build his own, a testament to his wealth and sophistication. Vanderbilt was born in Staten Island and only visited Asheville, North Carolina for the first time in 1888 with his mother. Quickly after, he fell in love with the magnificent scenic views that the Blue Ridge Mountains had to offer and started looking for land in Asheville, North Carolina to build his dream home. Wow, I don't blame him. These mountains are to die for. Who wouldn't want a house here? So, after he purchased the land, he decided to hire Richard Morris Hunt to design the home. He had a deep appreciation for European architecture, particularly the French Renaissance Revival style, which would become the cornerstone of the Biltmore House's design. Talking about European architecture, time for a fun fact. Once Vanderbilt hired Hunt to be the architect for the home, they traveled all around Europe together, admiring and understanding different styles of architecture, which helped them land on the style they liked. As they were in England, the Waddesdon Manor caught their eye. This building was a very big factor in the inspiration of the build of the Biltmore estate. Keep in mind, this was not a common or usual thing for the homeowner and architect to do. It demonstrated how invested both Vanderbilt and Hunt were in creating the structure both aesthetically beautiful and historically correct. Essentially, the French Renaissance Revival style home shown here inspired the Biltmore House. Okay, so back to the Biltmore. Richard Morris Hunt's admiration for the French Renaissance Revival style was evident in the Biltmore House, where he would masterfully combine form and function to create an architectural masterpiece. Hierarchy was a fundamental principle of the French Renaissance Revival style, and Richard Morris Hunt incorporated it masterfully in the design of the home. Features like the transepts, crossings, and chapels accentuate this idea of visual hierarchy. The house featured a central tower resembling a central feature of a medieval castle, symbolizing the authority and prestige of the Vanderbilt family. This design element showcased their status and power within the American society. Asymmetry was another hallmark of the French Renaissance Revival style. The Biltmore House was designed with a deliberate lack of strict symmetry, creating a sense of intrigue. The grand facade featured an irregular arrangement of towers. This asymmetry not only added visual interest, but also emphasized the uniqueness of the estate, setting it apart from other grand homes of the era. By 1889, they started constructing the estate on the 125,000 acres of land that George Vanderbilt purchased. The home was about 175,000 square feet, which is greater than 4 acres of land. The French Renaissance chateau has 250 rooms, which included 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, and 65 fireplaces. This estate was built during the Gilded Age, and at a time, it was one of the largest privately owned homes in the United States. Wow, we cannot get lost in there. So, we read a little bit about Richard Morris Hunt, but let's look at Frederick Law Olmsted. After Vanderbilt purchased the land, he told Olmsted, "I saw that if I built upon the site, I should not have pleasant neighbors. So I sent Mr. McName down here to buy some of them out, and step by step, without any definite end in view, I have acquired all this land." So, slowly Vanderbilt was able to tear down already created architecture to free up space for his estate. Once he purchased the land, he relocated its residents to make sure they were to have a place to live and not be in disagreement with him to selfishly buy up so much land. As we saw earlier, it was very important that the estate would be in Asheville, North Carolina. The house is encompassed by and hidden intentionally in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The architectural design of intentionally hiding the home in the beautiful naturalistic mountain landscape created heightened anticipation for those visiting the structure by only being able to see the whole estate once fairly close to it. Vanderbilt envisioned this home to be a self-sustaining estate, which is where Frederick Law Olmsted comes in, considering he was the landscape architect. Olmsted advocated for having a bulk of the property be used for a specific forestry program, which at the time was the first in the country and widely recognized as a milestone in conservation. Initially, the land had very poor soil, so Olmsted suggested using animal manure as fertilizer to restore the soil. Over a decade later, we are still using this decomposting technique today. This technique was created due to the estate and greatly impacted the efforts in problem solving with sustainable design. The land provided farming and was greatly kept up by cleaning the landscape and sweeping the streets daily. In conclusion to Olmsted's impact on the estate, he made sure to carefully calculate the gardens and the agriculture in his design to further enhance the French Renaissance chateau style. The expansive gardens, terraces, and forests surrounding the house were the handiwork of Frederick Law Olmsted, who was also the renowned landscape architect behind the Central Park in New York. The European-inspired landscaping further emphasized the estate's class and sophistication. As seen in the photo, the Biltmore estate was strategically positioned at the heart of the estate, overlooking the breathtaking Blue Ridge Mountains. This placement was not accidental. It was a statement of power and domination over the natural world. The landscape served as both a backdrop and a complement to the grandness of the house, reinforcing George Vanderbilt's dominance in his surroundings. Hunt and Olmsted worked together to create this picturesque French Revival estate, considering all the different elements. They made an orderly fan-shaped street plan where the flats were filled in, streets laid out, and multiple trees planted. Not only did they design and construct the Vanderbilt house together, they created a village encompassing it with a church, estate office, railroad station, post office, and school. Also, They created cottages surrounding the estate, which estate employees could rent them out or were given to any respectable member of the society who was able to pay rent. Time for a fun fact. The estate was used to create many notable films, one being called Bang There. They were firm to use this setting for the cinematography because they wanted to make good use of the chamber's architectural details and the Olmsted landscape. They also admired the long driveway to the home because it accentuates suspense for the dramatic views of the estate. Some other films shot in the Biltmore estate are Forrest Gump, The Swan, and Patch Adams. The interiors of the Biltmore estate are a masterclass in opulence. Lavish chandeliers, ornate molding, and grand staircases greet visitors as they step inside. This home is a showcase of the finest craftsmanship and attention to detail, creating an atmosphere of timeless luxury. The chateau's interior is filled with costly furnishings and artwork fitted with every modern convenience surrounding by pleasure gardens. The Biltmore estate is known for their individuality and unique characteristics. Today, the Biltmore stands as a testament to the vision of George Vanderbilt and the architectural genius of Richard Morris Hunt. It has become a symbol of American opulence and is open to the public, allowing visitors to step back in time and experience the elegance and power of the Gilded Age. The Biltmore estate has been meticulously preserved, and the gardens have evolved to reflect the changing seasons. It continues to be a source of inspiration for architects and designers, serving as a model of timeless beauty and classical refinement. Wow, that was a good video. I can't wait to see it in real life.